Hi everyone and welcome back. It's Faith here again. It's been about 2 weeks since my last full in-depth garden tour, so I'm just back again. A lot has been changing since my last garden tour and a lot has been coming in, so I just wanted to take you around and show you some of the changes. So as you can see, things are starting to fill in. I've taken some stuff out. I have added a chicken run to my coop so that I can kind of not have as many nets and worry about that. The moths were getting in through the nets that I had, and I was dealing with a lot of pest issues, which I wasn't able to really take care of with the nets on, worrying about the chickens. So let's see, where do we begin? Still have some of my calendula. My pole beans are starting to climb. These are scarlet runner beans. Rosemary. I'm getting some strawberries in, which has been really fun. My bee balm is starting to come up. Some aloe. Some of my kales are looking really pitiful and have been eaten alive, but I'm trying to let them flower so that I can get seeds. Fennel gone crazy. Hyssop and oregano. Echinacea. These are cantaloupes. Hopefully they will take out. There's the scarlet runner again. So I got my purple potatoes coming in very nicely. And then I have some peppers kind of hiding all throughout. I've got some cucumbers and some more runner beans coming up. Beautiful, what I hope will be beautiful sunflower. It's getting very close to flowering. All my bush beans. So this one is dragon's tongue, and it puts off these pretty little light purple flowers, and then the beans will be like a lime green with like purple striping. They're very beautiful. And I have some just like regular green beans. I forget what variety I had planted. And then I have some purple beans. So all throughout here is going to be a massive heap of beans. This is a bachelor button, which hasn't bloomed yet. Zinnia, some sort of cauliflower, just getting eaten up. But now I can pick the worms off, so I've been checking them now that the nets aren't on. And then, so this is one of the purple bush beans, which wanted to climb, I guess. Isn't that pretty? There is a little bean there. So, all my scarlet runners. Then on this side is kind of I planted some beans down here, some long beans and some purple blawfilled pole beans, but they haven't popped up yet because I just planted them. It's another sunflower, waiting for it to bloom. So this is my eaten alive bed, which is why I wanted to take those nuts off, because look at this kale. I'm hoping I can still let it go to seed and get seed though, so that's my main goal. Cucumbers, bush pickle. Let's see. All my tomatoes are getting quite big, as well as my carrots. Some basil. These are my cosmos, which were blooming and kind of fallen off, and so now it's coming in for another round. I really need to tie up some of my tomatoes to the trellis now that they're starting to get bigger. Let's go to these tomatoes. Mexican sunflower. I have seen so many butterflies on this already, which is amazing. I forget what variety this is off the top of my head, but it's definitely already putting off some tomatoes. It's an heirloom variety, I know that much. This is a cherry. Cherry. So I've talked about this before, and I am gonna do a full tomato video on how I grow tomatoes, but I don't let mine get as big and bushy as some other places do, just because it's so humid here in Florida that it will get eaten up with disease really early on. So I like to keep them trellised up, keep them really trimmed back so it has good airflow, good ability to dry off without getting super humid and developing disease. So they stay pretty thin. I do let maybe like one sucker develop on each plant, so there's at least like 2 branches. But that's kind of what I do. Sorry, it's very bright. My little dahlias, which might bloom any day. This is the dinner plate dahlia. Cute boy with a frisbee, like usual. These are my beefsteak tomatoes, which are already getting some tomatoes as well. Look at those beauties. Gorgeous. Got some radishes, and I just love zinnias so much. So this section actually is probably my favorite at the moment, with these zinnias and the tomatoes and basil. This all around the garden shed is just gorgeous. Can't wait for all the flowers to come in. This tomato is growing a lot of growth, but I think it's not getting enough sun. I need to cut some of this bamboo and stuff back, so it's putting off a lot of foliage and not a lot of flowering. So this zinnia turned out hot pink. It's very nice. Bunch of tomatoes coming in. And I think in this last time, this one had been completely lopped off, and look, I said I was letting the suckers grow, and look at it now. Plants are way more resilient than we give them credit for. And I'm thankful for that immensely. So I have all my milkweed. I grow this for the monarch caterpillars, so hopefully those will get big before that really kicks off. More tomatoes and basil and flowers and onions. Oh hi, some little calendula, little pollinator friends. Marigolds along the back here. The onions are starting to fill out really nice. And I've got this gorgeous, this is a Black Prince tomato. Hasn't developed any sort of blackness yet, but look at that guy already coming in. So I'm moving a bit quicker today because I know I already kind of did a previous one. Onions, some lettuces that have slowly been bolting and coming out, so mixed in with some peppers, which will be mostly a pepper bed by the time the lettuces come out. All along the trellises, I have melons and cucumbers. This is another bachelor button. I'm waiting for so many flowers to come in. These are some red potatoes, which look like they might be dying back and might be time for harvesting soon, which is, I pulled some out and they were gorgeous. They were hot pink to me. I know they're called red, but to me they were hot pink. And then we have some more cucumbers. And this is my squash bed. So if you don't know, squashes are not self-pollinating and they do require the assistance of pollinators, which is why I love growing so many flowers and things that attract pollinators, bees, butterflies to the garden. But you can hand pollinate your squash if you find that you're not getting enough pollinators or having issues with pollination. So I'll show you how to do that right now. So I tried to record this yesterday, but it wasn't helpful because the flowers weren't open. So I wanted to come back out and show you what I mean. So this is a male flower, and you can see this stamen, and this little top part at the top is called the anther. And so what you can do to help pollinate your plants is take a Q-tip or a paintbrush and rub some of that pollen off. And then you would go and you would find another one, which all of these are pretty much male right now, but you could find a female because it would have the little squash fruit on it, and they have what's called a stigma. It's more round, it's got multiple little heads, and you would rub it in there on the stigma. So that is the easy way to hand pollinate squash. I know Q-tips aren't super sustainable, so you could definitely use like a paintbrush or an old clean makeup brush, maybe if you're a woman. And yeah, so you can use other squashes to pollinate. Like I could use the zucchini squash to pollinate a crookneck squash, and it would still be okay. The only thing is that it could affect saving seeds. So if you wanted to seed save, you would just try to maybe make sure, but you have to keep in mind that even bees are coming and pollinating, and that's cross-pollinating as well. So if you really wanted to protect your plants from cross-pollinating, you would need to put something over the flower and hand pollinate it yourself to keep it from getting cross-pollinated, or just grow it in a very controlled environment, which obviously out in the open you can't do. So that's the easy way to pollinate your squash. So I just needed to get out of the sun really quick. I have very fair skin and will kind of fry, but there's not much going on in the garden yet. I have a lot of things just now starting to get going and picking up. So it's all filling out and looking really beautiful, but nothing to really harvest as of yet. But getting very, very close, and I'm very excited. So stay tuned until next time. Nuns, are you my garden fox? Are you my fox girl?